Chapter 3, Names on Paper, Blood on Stone. January 3rd, 1930, St. Louis. The news hit the morning papers by accident, if it hit at all. 3 bodies found in the river. Police suspect drinking. That was all it said, buried next to the crossword puzzle and an ad for wool socks. But I knew better. Someone had made a list, and the first 3 names were already crossed off. I sat in my office, watching the cigarette smoke curl through the weak winter light. My desk was scattered with old files and one photograph. Me, Jack, Scott, and Shane, all dressed in khakis, standing in front of a train car outside St. Louis Union Station in the fall of 1924. We looked young, brave, stupid. There were 4 of us then. Now there was 1. I heard the hallway door creak. A moment later, a slow, deliberate knock. I didn't flinch. I was already armed with questions. "Come in," I said. The door opened. Sharon Portwood stepped in, hat in hand, grief in her eyes, and something else behind it. Something sharp. "I saw the paper," she said. "They didn't even get his name right." "They weren't trying to," I replied. "Dead men don't sell papers unless they're senators." She sat across from me. I poured her coffee. Neither of us drank it. "Jack ever mention a list?" I asked. She nodded slowly. "He kept a journal, said he was worried someone was watching. He mailed it to me 2 weeks ago. I haven't opened it." I held out my hand. She gave me the envelope. It was sealed with wax and signed in Jack's old military scrawl. I broke it open. Inside were 6 pages of tight handwriting. Every line was thick with tension. Names, dates, places, shadows. Meetings, surveillance. One note stood out. "If they're watching me, they're watching the others. We all knew too much. We saw who the prince met with. We saw the second ledger." I stopped reading. The second ledger. Back in 24, we intercepted a coded message intended for the prince. We'd been told to destroy it, but someone hadn't. Someone had made a copy. Someone had leverage. Now that someone was clearing the board, and I was still on it. "Sharon," I said, "I need you to disappear for a few days. Get out of town. Use your maiden name. Go to Kansas City. Don't tell anyone." She hesitated. "Is it really that serious?" I nodded. "If they killed Jack for what he knew, they'll come for you just for being his sister." She stood up. "What are you going to do?" I lit another cigarette and reached for my overcoat. "I'm going to find whoever's turning the past into corpses, and I'm going to make them talk." She left without another word. I stepped out into the cold with Jack's journal in one pocket and a loaded pistol in the other. The war we thought we won in 1924 wasn't over. It had just changed uniforms. Chapter 4, The Ledger Never Lies, January 4th, 1930, St. Louis. The city had a chill that morning that felt older than the weather. One of those deep, marrow-biting colds that settled into brick and bone. I left the office early, with Jack's journal in my coat and a name in my head. Linden & Cross, a defunct import firm we'd flagged back in 1924. Jack had written it twice in the margin, once in ink, once in blood. The building was still there. 4 stories of soot-colored stone on a dead stretch of Laclade's Landing. The company was long gone, but the address had new tenants. Midwest Holding in Transit, a shell if I'd ever heard one. I cased it for an hour. Saw nothing but a man in a gray coat with military boots entering the rear. German cut, Eastern European swagger. The kind of man who didn't deliver flour or carry ledgers. I slipped in through a side alley and found a broken basement window. Inside, the air was thick with old mold and older secrets. I moved slow, pistol out, steps soft. Whoever was running the show here wasn't in retail. I found the stairs and went up. Second floor was filing cabinets, locked. Third was empty desks, dusty but used. Fourth floor, that was the gold mine. Behind a steel door left ajar was a private office, clean, tight, and humming with danger. A map of St. Louis on the wall, marked with red circles. One at Jack's apartment, one at Shane's law office. One where Scott's car was last parked, and one more, on me. The desk had 2 items, a bottle of German gin and a black leather binder with no markings. I opened it. Inside were 3 names on the first page: Jack Portwood, Scott Allen, Shane Hestand. Each name had a red X next to it. Below them, mine. No mark yet. The next pages were ledgers, payments, shipments, code names, and British crests. The kind of evidence that would make a government sweat and a killer act fast. Then I heard the click of a hammer. "I wouldn't turn that page, Mr. Scism," came a voice behind me. Smooth, cold, professional. I turned slow. He was tall, gaunt, well-dressed, not German, American, maybe Boston. His gun was level and steady. "You're trespassing," he said, "and poking into a war you don't understand." "I understood it just fine the first time," I said, "back in 24. His eyes narrowed. "You should have drowned with the others." I moved fast. Gunfire cracked. I felt heat pass my shoulder and returned 2 shots blind. One hit the wall, the other hit something soft. He dropped with a grunt. I checked his pulse, still alive, barely. I took the binder and left him breathing just enough to explain himself to the right people, if I let him live that long. Back in the car, I flipped to the last page. It said just one thing. Phase 2 begins January 10th. Remove Scism. Chapter 5, Echoes in the Walls. January 5th, 1930, St. Louis. The office was quiet when I got back. Too quiet. Not the good kind that lets you think, but the heavy kind that presses on your chest like guilt. I locked the binder in my desk and poured myself a shot of the cheap stuff. It burned, but not enough to chase away the feeling in my gut. I had names. I had places. I even had the face of a man who tried to kill me. But I still didn't have a why. That's the worst part of a mystery. It's not the danger. It's the waiting for the pieces to click. The phone rang. I jumped. Scism. The voice on the other end was gravel wrapped in silk. "You're asking the wrong questions, detective." "Then give me the right ones." A pause. Then, "Check the wall behind the coat rack in your office. You've been watched for months." Click. Deadline. I stood up slow, heart thudding. The coat rack hadn't moved since I moved in. I pulled it aside. The wall was clean until I tapped it. Hollow. A panel slid back, hidden wiring, a tiny metal cylinder with a receiver and a glass tube no bigger than my palm. A bug. Someone had wired my office. Someone had been listening. Not for days, for weeks, maybe longer. That meant the questions I'd asked, the names I'd spoken, the plan to get Sharon out of town. All of it was compromised. I packed the bug in a handkerchief and smashed it with the butt of my pistol. Then I lit the building's phone directory on fire. There'd be no more calls from here. The past wasn't just coming back, it had never left. I pulled the binder from the drawer and flipped to a page I hadn't seen before. There, written in precise ink, was a new heading. Operation Harrow, activate domestic assets, Scism compromised. Underneath that, a name I hadn't heard in years. Charles Wakefield. He'd been British consulate security in 1924. Clean cut, by the book, and just suspicious enough to be useful. Last I heard, he went back to London. According to this, he never left. I stepped into the cold night, coat collar up, pistol holstered. If Wakefield was back in St. Louis, he was either part of the cleanup or the one who started it. Either way, I was going to find him. And this time, I wasn't asking nicely. Welcome to Scism Detective Agency stories, where the fog is thick, the coffee's black, and danger is always a step behind. Step into the smoke-filled alleys and shadowed train yards of 1920s America, where every case begins with a whisper and ends with a bang. This channel brings you original noir audio dramas, serialized mystery stories, and voice-over narratives steeped in grit, espionage, and betrayal. Follow former United States Navy intelligence officer Patrick Scism as he uncovers dark secrets in the heartland of the American Empire. Whether you're here for old-school detective tales or period-accurate historical thrillers, you're in the right place. Like what you hear? Hit like, tap subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a case file. Drop a comment to tell us which mystery has you hooked or who you think did it. Coming soon, join the agency on Patreon. Want more stories, exclusive case files, behind-the-scenes content, and early access to new episodes? Our Patreon page is launching soon. Help support independent storytelling and get inducted into the inner circle. The cases are open, the city never sleeps, and you're on the list. Welcome to the Scism Detective Agency.